Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a wonderful day and a wonderful week. We are looking at Blofin Exchange. This is a review, kind of a beginner's guide to how to utilize the exchange. They're fairly new to the market, January 2023. They effectively went live, and I am actually recently partnered with them, mainly because it helps my community in a lot of different ways. Okay, so first of all, no KYC, no VPN requirements. That's a pretty big deal here in the US and, of course, Canada. A lot of my members are located in those areas. Just want to make sure to bring more options to you. We do have a partnership with them, of course, and some beneficial rewards here that you want to make sure to check out here. This is a tentative reward, of course, only available for a couple of weeks, but simply put, they do offer a lot of bonuses too that you can make sure to utilize if you're ever unsure about that. There's always welcome bonuses and things that you can utilize to benefit upwards of about 5,000 in USDT. So again, some really cool stuff there. Be sure to check that out. But the simple reason for making this video is to kind of help educate you on how to work this exchange. So if you're more of a intermediate or advanced trader, you maybe want to consider just watching some of my technical analysis videos, get the lay of the land there, or consider becoming a premium member with my trade signals and my university videos. I have a lot of specifics that are highly requested that unfortunately don't have time for in this video. But either way, let me go ahead and highlight a couple of things about this exchange I love, and we'll go ahead and discuss how to make it work or how it effectively works correctly. First of all, again, they were made post FTX, so there's a lot less issues there. They're very highly compliant. They have open APIs, which I find to be a very big benefit if you like utilizing trading bots, which we use in our community. Okay. So while we have Cornix as kind of our primary trading bot, there's a lot of good ones out there that you can link to this exchange. That's really, really helpful there. Once again, no KYC VPN in the US, Canada. They don't actually have a spot exchange either as well, which is actually leading to them being very compliant there because that's where a lot of the problems come from with other exchanges. OCO orders, TWAP orders, there's a lot of different things that they have that are extremely beneficial. I'll discuss those in greater detail later. But what I want to show you here, first of all, is just the simple fact that they are listed on CoinMarketCap. They're basically in the top 30. They're basically number 30 as of today, as of this recording. They have a lot of different trading pairs. I believe over 120 right now, 125 so far. And I checked this a few days ago, it was somewhere in the range of 120. They just added quite a few trading pairs. So consistently increasing their volume. And of course, they have presently about 3 billion market cap volume there, 24-hour trading. So pretty good amount of volume in just the 24-hour period. So you got some more information here. Of course, you can check that out in your own time. But the main thing I want to kind of tell you or kind of work with you on here is how the exchange works. So let's go ahead and start with transferring funds over, right? What does that look like? How do you deposit funds? Well, you can come here to the Buy a Crypto link and go ahead and go the traditional route, I guess, or if this is even traditional. Actually, this is probably more non-traditional. It's not the recommended route to take, mainly because you get nickeled and dimed on the cost. So if you were to just say try to fund your account with $100, you're going to pay a decent sized fee there. It's not really worth it in my personal opinion. So I would recommend transferring funds over from a current exchange you have, or like if you're in the US, for example. I use a Coinbase account. I fund my account for no cost, and I just transfer funds over. Yes, you're going to pay gas fees, but depending on the trading pair you use, you can minimize your cost. Always recommend a TRC20, which is USDT, or of course there's Matic and Avalanche as well. Both very good, very fast, and low cost. But what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and take a quick look at the overview here, right? I transferred over $1,000 here recently, and I have made so far $4. We'll talk about that little trade here in a minute, how to properly set that up, how to take profit and stop losses too. But here on the overview page, you basically get an overview of your assets. Again, you got a funding account. That's where you can send and receive funds. You can transfer funds from your funding account to your futures account. Typically, how you're going to do that once your funds are received. And then, of course, if you want to consider copy trading, you can do so as well. There's also earning as well as additional options. I'll review those later, of course, because copy trading and how to utilize those earning accounts are different. We're mainly focusing on how to trade futures and just kind of a general concept of how that works. But this is the basic overview. Pretty straightforward, right? It's an overview. Take a look at funding account, though. You can kind of see here that there would be funds in here normally if you transfer them over. So normally you send over, just say USDT, for example, then you transfer those to your futures account. Best way to go. So in here you can kind of see the futures account. We got it's a $250 trade effectively, just a little 10x leverage trade, and we can see there are funds available. Okay. So the simple way to answer this, or to address this here, if you will. Oh, quickly to note here, across the top, they're constantly providing you with updates on certain, coins that are added, and they just recently added Loom to their futures here. So that's really awesome. So pay attention to that. Sometimes they kind of give you a little heads up, but I would say at least in the last couple weeks of using this exchange, I can tell you that they have added a lot of different trading pairs, and it's really nice to be able to have more options. Yeah. So what we want to look at here is just kind of some basics on how to take a trade. And so first of all, you can, just to note, this is the previous trade that I took earlier today. And as to set an example here for you, we got in on a short at 28,500. Okay. So you can kind of see it here. It shows the entry 28,550, current mark price, we're up 20. So the reason why I want to show that to you is because there's a lot of different ways that you can go about doing this, but there's market and limit orders if you're not familiar with that. So what I like to do is just recommend always utilizing a limit order. It's the best way to go. If you're doing market orders, it's more of an emergency setting than it is a situation where you want to prioritize. Okay? Absolutely, 9 times out of 10, you have the option limit order at all times. Okay? The main reason why is you pay a lot less in fees, like the funding rate is much different, and you effectively can get filled at a specific price point and just generally be able to control the trade. It boils down to that whole risk tolerance thing I like to teach. So truth is here, if you're going to just go ahead and take a trade, let's go ahead and start from the beginning here. And just say hypothetically you're looking for a market order. You would essentially put in how much you want to use. I prefer to use a USDT amount instead of the decimal point for Satoshis. So just say I have the 756 here available. I would say I'd put in 500 hypothetically USDT. And then I would consider doing a long or a short. Problem with that is it'll just jump in at the best possible price, which by the way is never the best possible price. It's always plus or minus. There's a bid-ask spread. Depending on the exchange can be quite large. Not recommended again. That's just kind of a basic baseline here on how that would work. Okay, market order, worst case scenario, never do that if possible. We're going to focus on limit orders here. The main reason why is because you can delegate how much you want at what specific price point. That's the way you should trade. It should be calculated. It should not be a rushed situation. It should absolutely be something that you need to ensure that you do collectively. Okay? Collect your thoughts. Make sure you understand. Never trade emotionally. Again, I'm going off on a slight tangent there, but those are things that are super relevant and important to recognize. So easy to do. Again, watch some of my other videos you haven't already. Make sure you familiarize yourself with that. I like to teach best practice, and unfortunately, the market doesn't really call for that sometimes. So with this best practice here, limit order, what do we do? Well, if we are ready for a limit order, what we do is we essentially put in 28,500 as an example, right? So in this case here, we put 28,500 because that's close to where the price action is at. So just say you want to get in at 28.5, what you do here is you'd either slide this bar over, and then what it does, it kind of shows you the cost. So with this being 760 in the account, I go halfway, it'll take roughly half that amount. I go all the way, it'd basically take my entire portfolio if I use 100%. So again, this is a slider bar, simply put, of how much percent of your portfolio that's available you want to utilize. Okay. So a lot of times it's best to use no more than 5%. So I'd put in like to say 5%, if you will, and we can go ahead and do that here with an amount, right? 5%. Yeah, we could put in a 5% order there. Okay. So again, there's a lot of different ways you can do it, but I think the best way personally is to utilize just a dollar amount specifically. Say you want to use $100, you put that in there, and that would be that'd be ready to go. Okay. So just say you put this all in there. What you can do after before the trade is taken is you can set take profit and stop loss orders. So it's probably ideal to consider setting this up. So just say, for example, 20,500 is your entry. You're trying to take a long right now. If you want to take profit, just say hypothetically at 29,000. Okay. We'd come in here for a stop loss. We'd put in just say 28,000. Again, this is just random numbers I'm putting in here, of course. But the point is for you to understand how to set this up initially. Okay. Now, every time you take a trade, you should do. But there are cases in point where you maybe you want to get the price, you want to get filled quickly. You put in your limit order. You don't worry about a take profit stop loss. You want to watch it. That's perfectly fine. Make sure though, if you do have to step away, you set a take profit and stop loss order. So just say hypothetically we've taken that trade just now. It'll show up down here once it's filled. Normally it'll start off as an open order, but right now it's going to show as a position since it's been filled. So what you want to do is in order to set your take profit and stop loss, You click TPSL over here where the trade is at. Once again, it shows it's a 10x short selling position, cross leverage. And what it's going to do is provide you with these options here. You can disable stop loss if you want, or enable. Same thing with take profit. These are all available here for you. Okay? But the bottom line here is that we have choices to be able to put in a specific number. So just say this is a take profit target, and we're in it. Just say it was a long position. You put in 29,000. Keep in mind this being a short, it shows the opposite. That's $38 loss if we took a loss there at 29,000. But in the inverse here, just say we're going to put in 28,000, it would show that you would effectively make $46. So again, these are kind of backwards. I'm not going to, you know what, let's actually confirm a different way. Let's do this different, because this is a short trade. And I apologize, this example isn't the greatest because the simple fact that if you're a beginner trader, you maybe wouldn't want to consider shorting. It's not necessarily the most appropriate entry-level trade. But this already being set up, why don't we just go ahead and go with an example here? Because if you're not familiar, when you short, you're essentially selling high and buying low. So we sold at 28,550 in this example. So we're going to want to take profit at a lower price point. Let's just say 28,000. So we put in 28,000. That would get us a net of $46.92 on this trade. Keep in mind, I used 250 on this trade at 10x leverage. Those are all going to change as you increase and decrease your leverage. And by the way, quick disclaimer, 10x leverage is on the high side. This is the highest I ever go. Okay. There's some folks that are trading with 20, 50, 100x leverage, which you can do, but you got to keep in mind liquidation levels become so close that it becomes completely nonsense. Okay. You're going to get liquidated. It's going to be a bad experience. Try not to. In this example, though, 28,000 would be our target, and that would show where you get, once again, a gain of that amount. Let's put in 29,000. Just to give you an example here, too. Hypothetically, the price goes up to 29,000. The trade closes. I would lose $38. Okay. Let's go ahead and just confirm this here. So give you perspective on what that looks like. We'll zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see. And what it's going to do is it's going to provide you with an SL and a TP. Okay. Now you can typically adjust these if you want. You simply come on down and make that adjustment. But at this point here, I'm just going to go ahead and leave that alone. A lot of times the best way to adjust it, in my personal opinion, is just to close it completely. But simply put, this kind of gives you perspective on where the trade is at, where it's going to take profit, where your stop loss is going to hit. Okay? So if you want to adjust that, to me, I personally just would rather cancel it completely and then start over. Okay? Cancel, go right back to your take profit stop loss. Okay? So again, that's quite simply the easiest way to understand how that works. Okay? Now, futures, again, you want to be very, very careful, very cautious. But the main thing that I really love about this exchange is that it's simple and easy to use. So as you can see, everything we just done here is fairly straightforward. Nothing to really screw up. And again, if you are the folk to kind of share your trade, by the way, you just click on this little guy here. You could hit download and provide that trade to whomever you want to show you're in a trade with. Okay? So the cool thing is those are always features available on other exchanges. But again, simple and easy to use. Everything's all in one place. So again, definitely a good exchange for those who are located in the US, Canada, countries you're having difficulty, with KYC. Okay, they're good in other countries as well. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to only use these in a restricted country, right? But what you should do is consider, utilizing this exchange if you are, again, in that circumstance there where you're just looking for more options. Okay. So again, that's pretty much the extent of what we were wanting to look at there. Not much else to really note. Just keep in mind, moving forward, I will be making some more, some different type of videos for this exchange to kind of elaborate on OCO and TWAP orders, why they do not use spot exchanges, and sometimes eventually how to connect your APIs to it, because they are partnering with Bitunix right now to effectively be able to bring that to our community too. So very, very excited for that. Once more, link down below if you want to consider becoming a CryptoCache Premium member. A lot of new members coming over there for our trade signals. Really, really cool stuff. Be sure to check out my other videos. You'll see kind of how those work in general. And pretty much every analysis video that I make, we essentially decide to either trade or not trade that coin. And I think that might be a good fit for you. But regardless of those things, I do want to thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, follow if you haven't already. Greatly appreciate that. Looking forward to work with you. You want to reach out to me? Link down below for our Discord, Telegram, Twitter. We have some awesome communities, some really, really cool stuff. And once more, be sure to check out this Blofin exclusive offer here, only available for the next couple of weeks. And once again, if you don't see this being available when you watch by the time you watch this video. It's okay. There's going to be plenty more. Pay attention. I constantly will provide you with updates. We have trading competitions for these guys as well, and that's going to be coming in the relative near future too. The key takeaway is if you use my link down below to register for this exchange, you'll always be eligible for those benefits and those rewards. And that's the main thing that I think is important there, because we want to make sure that we provide some benefits to our members, and it's just really nice to be able to have that. So thanks again so much to everyone who's been able to support the channel, and of course, those who are considering using this exchange. I do think it would be a good fit for you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.